Hey, how you doing, lads? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, yeah, nice, nice. So today, in our review, we have a special occasion. Yep, that's a special occasion for sure. So this game called No, I'm Not Human. Yeah, it's a game with the core premise of paranoia and survival compelling enough to make the first playthrough memorable. Well, actually, for me, and here I am talking on the video for you guys to decide, do you want to experience this game or you do not. And firstly, I would kindly start from what's this game is about. Its game is I will be intrigued. So no, I'm Not Human is perhaps one of the most anticipated indie horror games of the year. Its demo caught the attention of fans on social media with its uniquely creepy art style, anxiety including premise, and the promise of the gameplay loop that demanded careful investigation of cast of characters one could never trust. While the demo was promising, the game itself in execution is disappointingly shallow, adding very little to the foundation the demo set and introducing mechanics the name of replayability that ultimately killed the game, which not really set up to be replayable anyway. For monk content, No, I'm Not a Human is a game in which you must survive an impending apocalypse while giving shelter to your fellow man. An explosion on the sun has caused the day to become deadly hot, forcing residents to find shelter from the scorching heat and only come out at night. The night itself is no less dangerous, however, as murderous creatures known as visitors who possess the ability to mimic the appearance of humans have crawled out from the dirt in maze. Many of you neighbors, as well as anyone else who has wandered into a villa, will want to take shelter in your home, and the deadly visitors, will do anything to fool you into opening the door for him or them. Essentially, it's the game of trying to collect as many humans as possible without letting any visitors in. Visitors will kill one of your survivors each night, and as the game progresses, you can learn the new ways of identifying them. When you do, you can blast them with your firearm and move on with your life. While the safest bet would be to let nobody in or to keep a small group of people you know are human, the game presents a series of checks that prevents this. For example, a pale man would often show up and ask you if you are alone. If he cannot hear the sounds of other humans inside, he will enter the home and it's game over. To prevent you from whoring a small group of the safe pigs, FEMA will occasionally stop by and take away your house guest, dwelling your numbers and putting you at risk of being alone when the pale man visits. Other such events exist, but they are too generally most relevant in my play thoughts. While No, I'm Not a Human is built on a strong premise of paranoia, including horror, there are a few issues that can ruin the experience beyond your first playthrough. If you have yet played the game and are still interested in this, I suggest you to stop watching here, go download it, and continue. But I'm about to spoil how the mechanics work, so you can get still good hour of two of fun from I'm Not a Human if you don't know this. That's being said, the visitors is No, I'm Not Human are completely randomized each playthrough. This is done to make the game more appealing to replay. But when you combine this with the way human can show signs of being visitors, it makes things unpredictable and narrows the investigation down to more of guessing game. The actual things that the guests say do not matter at all, as they remain uncharging between playthroughs with their states as monster determined randomly at the start. Because of this unreliability, the determining who is visitor and who is not, and because having a visitor in the house doesn't actually put you into the danger, the best way to play the game is actually to just let everybody in. The visitor who slips past your door will each night kill somebody, and you can try to identify them if you like. But you most certainly will die if you left with nobody else in your house. Simply allowing everyone and picking off the visitors as you see fit actually is pretty viable way to stay alive. If there was anything that really disappointed me in No, I'm Not Human, it would have been the writing. Yeah, the writing. The game reads in the way it's unique to poorly localized titles, sentences. They are not necessary, kinda, but you leave a bit confused or feeling sometimes as off when you read it. Unnatural manners of speaking, but in most of unintentional of the ways. Some endings and many characters' moments feel forced or unreal as characters suddenly start acting differently. Probably an issue with the poor localization that makes it hard to fully grasp a character personality. Outside of seeing the different endings, you really don't have a reason to play the game multiple times, as dialogue on all characters is the same, despite mechanics that insist on being played multiple times. And if you ask me, overall, what I think, and I think No, I'm Not Human might be a game that got to get up its own hype, and demo brought a lot of eager fans, but it was just a demo after all. Players expect to be early representation of what the game will be, not the finished product. The finished product in this case does not expand much on demo, and what it does add undermines the tension. If you go in blind, you will enjoy the game for your first playthrough, but beyond that, it falls apart, and I imagine not many players will keep their interest to the end of the second run. Yeah, so No, I'm Not Human. It's a game with a core premise of paranoia and survival, compelling enough to make the first playthrough memorable. Unfortunately, its shallow mechanics, weak writing, and limited replay while you keep the game from living up to its own hype. Try hard guides, um, and if you are interested, just don't use any guides then, and do it on your own. So yeah, I strongly recommend you to follow me, subscribe me on my channel, follow on my social medias. Yeah, you guys have a wonderful whatever is that day of the day now. Peace, bye.